Going around fish shops alone allowed me to remember my dad better. The day that my dad passed on was like very different from other days. I think back then I was only primary 3, so when I heard the news, it was like I couldn't really understand what's the meaning of that. What made me happy going around Singapore looking at fish shops with my dad is a mixture of looking at so many different species of fishes. And I think partly is being able to spend time with him. Subsequently, after the whole funeral and everything, then the truth started to sink into my mind that on that his date, it means that he will never come back, you'll never see him again, and you'll never have a conversation with him again. I think that was when it hit me really very hard. My dad's passing was not my first encounter with death, but I feel that it was the first encounter that I truly felt what is death. Like, what do we live for actually when we just die and everything disappears? What is me and my dad? I think it's Sentosa already, this one. Should be. You know how my dad passed so long time, I even forgotten how he looks like, you know, that kind of thing. Yeah, so looking at the photo again, like, it's quite nostalgic also.
Do you feel anything?
I think it's just nice to like see his face again, that kind of thing. Oh yeah, I remember this. I remember this for sure. I won this drawing contest. Yeah, in K2. Yeah, I remember this. Yeah, that's my drawing.
Oh, you're artist.
I try to be like.
You don't look very happy in the photo.
Yeah, I think it's like, I still don't know why I look like that. I think because I only won like 3rd place. Like then, yeah, I thought I'm going to win 1st place. Cannot fail, you know. Growing up, I got this small issue. Is that I'm very afraid to fail. And that is why I don't study all along. It's because I'm afraid that if I study and I put in my effort and I fail, then I wouldn't be able to accept it myself. I don't know if it could be related to my dad passing or not. I got no idea how it was there. I failed my O-levels. I got expelled from poly. I'm failing my diploma also. Private diploma also can fail. You know how ridiculous is that? It was during this period of like my private diploma that I started to use drugs. LSD was something I was really hooked on back then because when I took it, it made me question the meaning of life. On one of my trips, I went into this other dimension where I spent like, I feel that it felt like 40 years talking to another entity. When I was talking to this person inside, I started to ask questions like, why am I so afraid to fail? What's the meaning of like why am I here? Like, why did I achieve nothing in my life? Like, if I die tomorrow, then what do I have? You know, things like that. While I was on drugs, then I wasn't really a good person. I got into a fight. And during the fight, I punched a guy, then he fell and hit the head. Yeah, so he got really very badly injured, then I was wanted by the police. So I got arrested for trafficking and voluntarily causing grievous hurt. Yeah, actually I feel that drugs was a way for me to cope with my fear of failure. Yeah, and also a way for me to cope with like doing nothing every day. When I was like 16, 17, 18, 19, all the way before prison, like, I do nothing in my life. Right? I live like with no goals, no aspirations, nothing. Afraid to do anything, you know, afraid of life, afraid of death, afraid of everything. So only after I was arrested that I realized how wrong it was. So when I first got into prison, I got into a few fights for the first few years of my sentence. But one thing that I feel that I managed to retain was my reading habits. So I was then like every day in my cell reading. And I always got this feeling that if we do not know and understand the world around us, right, then what's the point of living? When I'm inside prison, right, for every televisit, my mom can give me 3 books. So my prisoner number is still here. I think the book that changed my life the most was The Denial of Death by Ernest Becker. In The Denial of Death, Ernest Becker actually talked about a few different concepts. One of which is the immortality project. So he actually feels that we had this subconscious fear of death, and because we are so afraid of death that we try to do things in our life to cover up this fear. And around 1.5 years or 2 years in, I realized that prison is unbearable. I think it's so unbearable because the time passes very slowly. I try my best to create a routine for myself. Morning we go and watch TV, then after I come back to exercise, I do reading at night. I mean 1.5 years in, it feels like a lifetime inside already. What if it's a 10-year sentence next time? Then I told myself that I can't come back to prison ever again. And that's why I chose to study my A-levels. My grandma, she came to visit me. She asked me to study hard, do well, and things like that. And I just remember her words for me. I do well for my A-levels. I got myself believing that A-levels was everything that I had. And if I do not get straight A's, I will kill myself when I'm released from prison. It was around 1 week before my A-levels that my mom told me that my grandma passed on. It was another death that I had to deal with. It actually hit me as hard as my dad. Then I focused even harder. Then I got straight A's. Yeah, this is my favorite fish. This is an Indonesia tiger fish. Similar like a tiger fish, you put it in a tank that is very dark, and the fish doesn't enjoy the environment, then the fish will look very ugly. Yeah, but if you put a tiger fish in a right environment, it will shine also. Just I feel that now, after being in the right environment already, then I'm doing better in my life. So currently I'm a third-year law student at HUSS, and I'll be graduating in around 1.5 years' time. I aspire to be a criminal lawyer, so criminal and family lawyer. I'm able to give back to the community more. If my businesses are able to do good enough, when I practice law, I want to be a solely pro bono lawyer. So I'm able to help these people that cannot afford a lawyer. Yeah, being a lawyer is my immortality project. Actually, deep inside, I feel that the reason I actually opened a fish shop is because I wanted to replicate the experience that me and my dad had at fish shops to other people today. Often we live our life, we don't really introspect a lot and we don't really know who we are. But I start to understand what kind of person I am. And the whole journey wasn't to actually get over my fears, but to understand what is my fears. What I'm afraid of. Yeah, once you know what you're afraid of, then you can live your life in a way to actually handle all these things.
This is all I know. This is all I can be. I'm growing out of payment. I did what I could do with what I've been given in this life.
Yeah, actually, I saw something quite funny back then. They say that if you got a lot of tattoos and you're poor, you are dangerous. But you got a lot of tattoos and you're rich, then you look hot. You know, quite funny. I saw that thing, my girlfriend sent me, yeah, quite true. I've
taken all my dues.